What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 191 of Tuck Rule Takes, the Cam Newton, Kayshawn Booty, Jalen Polk episode of Tuck Rule Takes. The gang is all here. Speaking of Cam Newton fan number one. Up there in New England, actually, both of you guys are, but so that I guess you guys aren't really special with that. But he's got the guns out as usual. Our resident meathead, IQ of 1, but he's got traps. Liam McDade, he's here. What's going on, Liam? Al's here as well. Al, you are too sophisticated for me to give you a crazy intro like that. So Al,
thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you,
sir. You got the glasses. You're looking smart. Well, don't interrupt me. You got the glasses on. You're looking smart. And you know, I'm just the resident old head down here in Florida, sweating my balls off.
That's for sure.
That's all. Yeah. By the way, this heat, and like I know it's like the cliche thing. It's so hot everywhere. This is fucking ridiculous. Like it's warm up there too, right?
Yeah,
as far as I know.
It's magic. I want the heat. I love it. This is what I look forward to. I suffer through the misery of starting up my car in 14-degree weather for days like this when I walk in and the leather burns my thighs in my car and the steering wheel is too hot to touch. This is what I'm living for.
No. I think I've had a beef with summer and I want to see how you guys feel about it. I feel like as kids, we were brainwashed to think summer is the best, right? Because it's like school is out, it's hot, we all go out and play. When you're a kid, you don't care. You get sweaty, you run around, everybody stinks, you jump in the pool. You're not worried about you're not self-conscious about anything at that point. You're not going anywhere. But once you hit adulthood when you're not in school, summer is the worst. It's the give me fall all day. No. All day. Now I know
I'm still not self-conscious, so
I'm not even speaking. I'm not even speaking from Florida, Mike. I'm talking about New England, Mike. Because Florida, Mike, fall and winter is the best. It's fucking 60 degrees all the time, like perfect weather, and it like drops down to like the 40s at night. It's amazing. But no, even up in New England, man, I don't get summer out of here. I hate it. Even spring gets a little too hot with all the rain too, and the ground starts to steam because it gets hot. Get it out of here. But yeah, I don't know. Are you actually, Al? You technically still abide by the work during the whatever time, and you have summers off. Did that change your opinion of summer at all, or are you like me, or are you a psycho like Liam and you love summer?
Oh, I love the summer because of the time. Well, because of the time off. I get the time off to do whatever I want.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's
great.
The
machine has brainwashed you.
But it's also great too because my fiance is also a teacher, so we both have the same time off. So it's nice. We can plan a vacation together. We can go to like the beaches and stuff together. Like we can do things together when during the school year, it's crazy because she has clubs and events she's running. I'm coaching during the spring and stuff like that. So that's, our time, to spend together. And also too, listen, I know the heat sucks. It does. But I would rather like short sleeves, shorts on, plenty of water, sunscreen, give me all that, as opposed to being ridiculously hot all day and then during the night it gets frigid. I can't do that. By the way, when you guys were kids in the summer, when you came out of the pool, did you do the sandwich and the chips combination where you put the chips in the sandwich right after a good swim? You guys ever do that?
No, I had this thing where I didn't like the feel of wet material on me, so I would just get flat out naked on my pool deck and then go inside.
Well, we're talking about when you were a kid, not now.
Yeah.
No, it carried from when I was a kid to now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a crazy thing, but I was never a chips in the sandwich guy. Never. Never.
I only
ever.
did
Even
it in
now.
Ireland. I learned they do it in Ireland. That's when I try. I would butter up the bread, throw the chips in, and it would just be a chips. They call it a crisp sandwich.
Just a little humble brag. Oh, I've been to Ireland. We're all Irish. I'm the only one that's been to Ireland. Yeah, no, I've never done that before. I was also very plain growing up. Like I'm talking pasta and butter, like burgers with nothing on them. Like I was very, very, very
New Hampshire folk.
Oh, I know.
Dude, it was bad.
Living in 1818.
Like not even ketchup? Like
to this day I still don't fuck with ketchup. If I happen to get it, I might have some.
Oh, by the way, Liam, I'd like to read a tweet that I just discovered as I was looking for any Patriots news on Twitter from our own Mike Sullivan.
Oh
So
no,
it is a picture from the
the Hulk Hogan
account.
tweet, isn't it?
No, it's not. It is from the account Food Hub, and it is a box of chocolate chip cookies. And Mike says, "Trust
Let's
tree?"
go.
Question mark. Chocolate chip cookies are wildly overrated. The best chocolate chip cookie can't even touch a good white chocolate macadamia nut or oatmeal raisin, for instance. Liam, I know you don't listen to this podcast, but the Section 10 podcast with Jared Carrabba, Steve Peralta, and all them, whenever someone says something dumb or ridiculous, they mute them and basically give them a suspension where they can't talk for 30 seconds. I wish we had that because I would suspend him so fast for that take.
I will
It's
mute
not
you.
even funny.
Yeah, the white chocolate macadamia, that's disgusting. That is a horrid take. The oatmeal raisin, I see where you're coming from. That's a good combo. Still not better than chocolate chip, though. Chocolate
It,
chip's
Oh
the
my
it,
OG.
God.
it
It's
is.
the OG. It's the
It
original.
doesn't matter
That's
just
the
because it's
Michael
the
Jordan of
OG.
cookies. Yeah,
Oh,
because it's really
listen,
good.
listen. Sprite to me is like the OG soda, but that's not the best soda out there. Listen, chocolate chip cookies have, I don't know who, I don't, whoever does the marketing for chocolate chip cookies, A plus plus plus. You have hoodwinked, you have bamboozled everybody into thinking that those are the best. And not just that, in doing so, you've also shoved oatmeal raisin cookies so far down to the point
Well,
where
because
now
they're an
people
old
do the
people's
joke.
cookie.
No, fuck you. Where people do the
They
jokes where they're
are.
like, when I grab one of these cookies, I think it's a chocolate chip and it's an oatmeal raisin. It ruins my day. No, that should brighten your day. You got a nice surprise. You don't get your generic plain vanilla cookie. Chocolate chip guy, I stand by it. The best. Think of the best chocolate chip cookie you've had. Think of it.
It,
Mouth's watering right now, right? Everything's going. I could give you
yeah.
an average, one that I buy from the store. White chocolate macadamia nut and
No,
oatmeal
absolutely
raisin. You
not.
will you will need to change your underwear. That's how good they are.
Let's remove the white chocolate macadamia from this because that's flat out
Oh
disgusting.
my
That's
god,
Mhm.
that
that's
is
not on the table. We're not talking that. I don't
that's
want
fine. I got two
macadamia
aces in
nuts.
the hole. We can take
Yeah,
out
you
one of them.
don't.
I got Tatum
Yeah.
and Brown. Who do you want to go against?
Oh my gosh. I'll
Let's
I'll tell
go.
you I'll tell
It's
you
like
what's one
Manny and Poppy, baby.
I'll tell you what's one underrated cookie, and I've said this before to you
Let's go.
guys.
I love this conversation.
The Subway raspberry cheesecake cookie. That's a solid cookie.
From Subway?
Yes, it's
Yep.
very,
Dude,
very good. You have
Subway.
to try it.
Subway has white chocolate macadamia nut cookies there, but Subway has incredible cookies.
They do.
I think it's high time that you get a normal people job so you don't have summers off because you clearly have too much free time if you're going to Subway for cookies.
Dude,
I'm not
I have
going
been
for cookies.
craving
It's a
Subway.
great dessert, though. Try one first before you knock it. That's all I'm gonna
Dude,
say.
they're good. Al, you know what? All for all the blasphemy you just spewed about the other cookies I mentioned, you got a point back, just 1 point. So you lost 5 points, but you get 1 point. So
Minus
so
four.
you're
Okay.
so you're still like 18 points above Liam, but you're getting closer.
I don't want to be
Yeah,
on you guys' heathen list. It's
the
fucking
raspberry.
disgusting.
Okay, real quick, then we'll talk about Patriots. We'll just go around the
I
horn.
don't want
Liam,
fruit in my cookies. That's
Liam,
disgusting.
there's not actual fruit.
I don't want nuts in my cookie. That's also
Oh,
disgusting.
that's
There's a
great.
fly in
Liam,
my house.
top three. Actually, okay, I'll ask Al because you're
Yeah,
distracted.
please.
We'll go
Yeah,
around to you.
he's
Al, top three cookies. Go.
the chocolate chip cookie, the raspberry cheesecake cookie from Subway because it's
Hmm.
that good.
Yep.
And then this is gonna be a plain one, but just Oreos, just regular Oreo cookies. Just give me regular Oreos. I'm
Oh,
good with
we're
that.
throwing Oreos in there. See,
Mhm.
I'm talking about just like your normal like kind of cookie. Oreos are a totally different thing, but I like it. I wasn't even thinking
I'll put
Oreos.
oatmeal raisin. I'll put oatmeal raisin. Then I can put Oreos as a honorable mention. I'll do that.
Oreos, to me, Oreos are like I don't even count them. They're like their own thing because Oreos are like a top five snack of all
Here's
time.
here's actually a wild take that I have. Soft, what are those cookies called? The chewy
Yep.
cookies or whatever. The soft chewy ones better than the Oreo.
Then the
Than
hard
better than
ones.
Oreo. Or
Who's
sorry,
better?
not
Uh,
chewy.
dog
Chips Ahoy.
treats?
No. Chips
Okay.
Ahoy. Chips Ahoy. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
the
couldn't
soft
think.
ones, the ones that come in the blue or red bag. I forget which bag.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
know that. So that was going to be my list. My list, by the way, oatmeal raisin, obviously, white chocolate macadamia. Sorry, Liam, close your ears. And then the soft, chewy Chips Ahoy cookies, chocolate chip. For all you chocolate chip people out there, that's on my list. Go do it right now. Liam, top three cookies. Then we're going to talk about Jack Jones getting burned by Stephon Diggs.
So number three, it's the original, it's the OG, it's the chocolate chip. It's the staple. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly all in there in one. It's most of all good. Number two, Vienna fingers. Fucking incredible. They're so good. Um,
Hmm.
What a weirdo.
and then number
What a
one,
fucking strange cat.
Snickerdoodle. Snickerdoodle has to be
Not
number one.
bad.
I
Not bad.
can't
Snickerdoodles
I
are
can't argue with
bang. The
snickerdoodles, man.
cinnamon, oh, it's
Oh,
just
dude, and there's no bad time to have them. Right when they come out,
yeah,
when they're sitting out for the day, maybe in the
yeah.
morning. Like there's
Fucking
no
three
bad
weeks
time.
later, oh, they hook it up. It's
Oh, I
so
forgot
What
good.
about
about
snickerdoodles.
what about Dunkaroos? Do we consider those cookies or
No,
crackers?
Man,
crackers.
you got crazy.
Crackers.
You're talking about
Yeah,
Oreos and Dunkaroos.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Dunkaroos
No,
are good though. But I think
Dunkaroos are
Dunkaroos are
yeah.
amazing.
something where if you loved them as a kid, you have them now. They're not quite. They don't hit as well as they did. Still like
They
them.
they deserve to be on like Antonio Brown's like Cracker of the Year nominations.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, yes.
All right,
Which
that's where we gotta move
I
on.
gotta figure. Al's got to be on that list out one of these years coming up, right? Cracker of
He
the
might be.
Year,
He'll have
Al.
to. He'll have to. We'll
Jeez.
see. We'll
Wow.
see.
Wow.
But yeah, again, just stop pumping up chocolate chip cookies. They're still fine, but like let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like enough. Okay. But there is some football news. Obviously, training camp started, so the bulk of what we'll talk about will be that. We're just gonna get to a few things first. So don't worry if you don't like it, skip forward. Got a couple other topics beforehand. First and foremost, Dolphins made a huge move, guys. Let me tell you, when one of your veteran corners, Artie Burns went down, I believe, right? Tore his ACL
Do you know where
from
he went?
Miami. Artie Burns, where?
Yeah,
The U. Yeah, well, you know what? So, I
it's all
feel
about
bad
the
for him.
U.
I feel bad
Yeah,
because
you
you never
should.
want to wish injury on someone, especially
Certainly
someone
not
that went
him.
to the U. Kind of a subpar school, but it's okay.
Um,
He's gone. So the Dolphins had to do something. You know what they did? They went out there and got a zero-time Pro Bowler, zero-time Super Bowl champion, zero-time All Pro, zero-time not bringing guns through an airport person. They got the one and only JJ Panda Jack Liam. Remember that? That's a throwback. Jack Jones, former New England great. Now, if you can't tell by the sarcasm in my voice, I will speak for all three of us real quick before I throw it to you guys. None of us as Patriots fans are scared of this signing. But I do, I want to hear Liam first because, again, he's my Panda Jack brother. Al, before you came on, we called him Panda Jack because he did, in fact, rob a Panda Express, which
Yep.
I'm not hating on it. There's a Panda Express like a few miles from the house. I love it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. But Liam, Jack Jones signed to the Miami Dolphins for a year. I guess as a Patriots fan looking at it, what's your opinion of that? And also, what's your opinion of the Dolphins right now?
the Dolphins are looking like they could be one of the worst teams in the league, but they still have the same personnel that they've had. But now none of them trust Tyreek Hill
Mm-hmm.
because he said deuces in week 18 last season. So even the good players are in disarray there. And their defense, like I just don't know what they're doing. I think they could be one of the worst teams in the league, but they probably won't. They'll probably be like just below middle of the pack kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But as for Panda Jack, I'm actually like not super psyched as a Patriots fan because like I think he's actually pretty good. He can't tackle for the life of him, but the dude's a ball hawk. Like you can pencil him in for 2 picks every season, which is what you can't do for a lot of corners, especially second, number two corners, basically. And last season he had 3 picks, which was the most he's had in any year so far. I think he's just really fucking good at coverage and doesn't give a fuck about tackling people. And more power to him. It's like a tight end that doesn't want to block. Would you rather have a tight end that blocks? Totally, absolutely give me George Kittle. But shit, if I have to settle for Jimmy Graham, and obviously Jack Jones isn't Jimmy Graham, like I'll fucking take it. Like it's so I still like him. I'm definitely not psyched. He probably hates the Patriots, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a pick on us. Uh, I'm kind of rooting for him, you know? It's just oddly enough, like I've always found him very likable. Even the guns to the airport thing, I'm like, we've all been there, almost done it. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. So I'm like, he just seems like a relatable guy to me.
I don't know. My thing, I'll give my thoughts real quick, then I'll toss it to you because mine's pretty simple. You're right, Liam. He is a ball hawk, but I
Yeah.
don't think that that's going to work in his favor here because I think McDaniels is going to be able to know that that's what he is. You know, when you study the other team's defense, you you know, kind of mold your offense that week to what they're doing. He's going to know that Jack Jones is a ball hawk. I see. Like I said before, I kind of said it in jest, but whether it's Diggs, Pop Douglas, even Kyle Williams, maybe he's gonna bite on a double move, and it's gonna be for a deep touchdown. I'm already gonna call that right now for when the Pats play the Dolphins. Yeah, like whatever. It's kind of like a laughable thing to me. Makes it so I hope he lines up on Steph Diggs all game. Because if that happens, I think May should be looking that way the whole time. But kind of just overall thoughts on the Dolphins. Yeah, like you said, dude, Tua is even like, well, he's got to prove himself, or he's got to, really prove
Yeah,
himself that
that
he's
was
bought in with the
brutal.
team. Like
And Tua
that's
never says that stuff.
no, no. He's like he's not the type that is gonna like he might say something spicy or here and there, but it's never about the team. It's more about like whether it's about himself or like the reporters or something like that. But you basically have someone calling out your star receiver who's already a problem child. So I doubt that's gonna work. Jonnu Smith, by the way, is not on that team anymore. That's going to be a huge thing. Like people forget, but I don't know. I am not worried about the Dolphins at all. Mike McDaniel's like good try, like very valiant effort. I think in the next couple of years he'll be out of the job in Miami, and they'll be back to in the basement of the AFC East. Them and the Jets fighting it out for third and fourth place, while the Bills and the Patriots fight it out for 1 and 2. That's my thoughts, though. Al, Jack Jones and the Dolphins.
I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, good for him. Like, he was a pain in the ass when he was here. Like, cool. You went to go play for your high school coach in
That pick six
Vegas.
off Aaron
Like,
Rodgers
like,
was
good for
super
you.
sick.
That was
Come
that
on.
was that. Yeah, it was. That was just one highlight here.
And
Good
then
for
the
him.
next week, pick down the sideline against the Lions.
Yeah, everybody was picking off the Lions in that season.
That's
Come
true.
on, Liam.
That's
I
true.
mean,
True.
yes, the Green Bay pick six, cool. It was a cool moment. That's the only cool moment he had here. Other than that, pain in the ass, missing curfew, bringing guns to airports. Like you don't need that. Good for
Bringing
him.
guns to
He's gonna be living it up in Miami. Like cool. Torch him on the field. Let Steph Diggs run like a post or just like a whatever, just whatever route you want.
Yeah.
Just torch him. Like I don't
A little
care.
stop and go kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah, I
just
don't
I
think
don't
it's
care.
going to be a thing. Like I don't think like he'll have a couple picks here and there. Because like you said, Liam, he is a ball hawk. He'll do his
Yeah.
job in that sense. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything big. Whatever. And I'm also not worried about the Dolphins either. At all. I don't think anybody should be. I think the Dolphins are their window, so to speak, is done. Sucks for Jalen Waddle because he's really good, but
Who's worse, Jets or Dolphins this season?
I think the
ooh,
Jets.
Yeah.
just because they're the Jets, right? Like they're
I
Justin
mean,
Fields. I don't think is. I think the Jets are going to ruin Fields, right?
they already have. I mean, yeah, they already have quarterback problems. I mean, Justin Fields. Who knows what the deal is going to be with that toe? And if he's coming out on a stretcher for a toe, I mean, what are we doing?
Oh yeah, talk about that, dude. Like I texted you guys that he got carted out on the like carted out, right? Because I
I
was
was
like,
Yeah,
I
devastated.
was kind of busy throughout the day. I was at a
Yeah.
trade show doing absolutely nothing, but I was like, oh, Justin Fields got carted out. And it comes out because he had a fractured toe or
And then he
broken
was back
toe.
at practice the next day.
Yeah, buddy. That part, yeah, the Jets fan base is really gonna love that. They're
Which
gonna be
right.
down with that. Come on.
silver lining here. If he goes down, they start T-Mobile, and that's a dangerous team. I was super psyched for a moment when I was thinking, we might get a Tyrod Taylor season in here. I was just,
Why do you love Tyrod Taylor so much?
dude, he's a monster. Mini Vic,
He's a monster.
T-Mobile.
That's why he's on his what eighth team.
If he's mini Vic, he is a
Because
monster,
most
probably.
teams have never really given him, besides Buffalo, and he was pretty damn good in Buffalo. Teams just haven't given him the real full year, given him
Oh,
a
I'm sorry,
season.
seven. I'm sorry, seven teams. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
but
I do like Tyrod
it's not
Taylor,
his
by the way. I
fault.
want it
He's a
out there.
monster.
I'm a fan
He's
of him.
so good.
I will not go that far. I will not go
He's
that far to say.
so good.
But either way, regardless, final thoughts on this, guys. We've talked way too much about Jack Jones and the fucking Dolphins, anyways. Trash team. Have fun in Miami. The only good thing to come out of Miami is that school they got, that college school they got. But
Oh
other than
yeah, I'm
that,
familiar.
get out of here. Final thoughts on that? Anything else? I know Al, you said you didn't care. Kind of overall feelings on it too. Yeah,
Just cool. Move on.
get him out. Get him out. Liam, this is going to be one that I feel like you'll be annoyed with because I don't think that you love the will the Patriots sign player X or whatever, which by the way, Terry McLaurin, he has now reported to the Commanders. He's still holding in, but that
Ankle
deal is
injury
most
too.
likely going to come through. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to come through. So, whatever. I think it was kind of a pipe dream. Interesting to talk about for some people, I guess. For Liam, not interesting to talk about at all. But
Nope.
one name though that does actually the Patriots could potentially get Christian Wilkins. I think we mentioned it what last week, the week before, that he was going to be out for the Patriots game most likely with an injury to his foot. But because he's on the Raiders, obviously, Patriots play the Raiders week 1, but the Raiders have just outright cut him. I thought it was that simple, but have you guys heard like kind of the drama with all this, with them cutting him and the grievances and everything?
Yeah,
Um,
he had to file a grievance, I think, at the NFLPA because they took away like his guaranteed money or something like that, or a bonus. It was something monetary.
Yeah, so I got it here because I looked it up real quick just to pull up his stats too, and I saw all this, and like I knew there was something. I didn't know it was this much, but he was 1 year into a 5 year, $110 million deal. Just signed it last season. But I guess the Raiders are voiding the remaining 35.2 million of guaranteed money, like you said. He's filing the grievance with it. The Raiders are saying that he essentially did not take care or did not rehab correctly with his foot, basically what they're saying, where like I don't know, like there's verbiage in the contract where you can obviously void money depending on certain things. They're saying that he did not rehab his foot correctly. There wasn't a agreement upon that, so they are voiding that. So my question to you guys, Christian Wilkins, by the way, the last year he was healthy. Just to throw this out before I ask you guys, he had 9 sacks. That was in 2023. In 2024, he only played 5 games, so I'm not going to count that. He did have 2 sacks in 5 games though last year. But in 2023, when he was healthy on the Dolphins, he had 9 sacks. Dietrich Wise was the leading Patriot sack getter last year with 5. So he would have obviously almost doubled what we did last year. He had a total of 65 tackles as well that year in 2023. But yeah, I want to ask you guys, and Al, you can speak to it more because I forget like the ties he had with Vrabel. I think you mentioned it
Mhm.
last week or whatever. But Christian Wilkins could actually be a possibility. If you want to let your mind wander to a front line of Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, and Christian Wilkins, that's a dangerous line. And then you still got Harold Landry, Keon White coming off the edge, Anthony Jennings here and there as well. I guess kind of where do you guys land on this Christian Wilkins stuff? Do you think the Patriots could get him? Do you think they should? And how pumped would you be if they did? Al, since you know, since I wanted, since you brought up last week about like the Vrabel ties or whatever, how they looked at him, what say you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, the big tie between Vrabel and Christian Wilkins is that when Vrabel was a part of Ohio State, Vrabel was trying to recruit Wilkins to Ohio State. And by the way, just a little fun, and I always like this because I'm cheesy like this, but do you know where Christian Wilkins is from? Springfield, Massachusetts. You know where he went to high school? Framingham High School before he went to Suffield Academy in Connecticut.
He
And then
did, didn't he?
yeah, he did. And then he
Damn.
went to Clemson. But here's the thing. You take a look at the Patriots defensive tackles right now. You mentioned the two names, Mike, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams. Christian Barmore is coming off a year where he had, and correct me if I'm wrong, he had the blood clots. Was it last year or the year before? I'm trying to remember.
Both.
Last,
Both, right?
yeah, at the end and then to start. Yep, yep.
Right. So he's okay. So he's coming back for the first time, probably fully healthy in a span of 3 years, like really, really healthy. And then you have Milton Williams that, of course, when he, had signed with the Panthers, then didn't sign with the Panthers, then the Patriots went and snagged him. Of course, we're excited. But here's the thing, Milton Williams, when he was on that Eagles team, they had a great defensive line, and he was probably the third or fourth guy there. So then you give him $100 million to say, be our number one guy. Who knows if he can do that? But if you brought in Christian Wilkins and healthy, and you rotated Barmore and Milton Williams and Wilkins, then you have three guys that are fresh, three guys that are productive, and three guys that can all get to the quarterback.
So what contract are you thinking?
So here's the thing: the Patriots have 60 million in cap space. What was his contract with the
5 year,
Raiders?
110 million. That's what he just signed. So they would have to take that over. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
No.
which for
No, because they cut him, so that the contract's null and void, so you could sign him to whatever.
so let's just play the game of sign him
Double
for
check.
whatever, right? If you really believe that Christian Wilkins can make a difference on your defense, which I think we all can agree, if he was, he'd make a difference. I wouldn't mind for 2 or 3 seasons giving him anywhere from that 20 to $25 million range. And then maybe you give a third year option. Like you can do that. You don't
Do the
have to commit.
Stephon Diggs thing where you're like kind of having out.
Exactly. And utilize the timeline. With Diggs, it's going to be 3 years and then he's going to be gone. Like we know that. It's going to be 3 years, develop with Drake May. Hopefully, Kyle Williams and Demario Douglas become his young receivers that he grows and develops chemistry with. And Diggs is there as kind of like the substitute, so to speak, the substitute number one guy. For now, Christian Wilkins can be kind of that same thing. Just bring him in for a couple years, let him wreak havoc, and then when the contract gets really expensive, see you later. Gone. And you make your football team better now. You make your football team more violent because that's what Mike Vrabel's defenses have done. Play violent, play physical. And that's what Christian Wilkins can bring. A level of violence and a level of production.
Mike, did you find anything on this?
You're right. So the contract is void now since they did release him. It's just the guaranteed money. So that's what's being argued with right now.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
the Raiders would be paying them.
Right.
yeah. They would be paying
Yeah.
that if like say the grievance goes through and then they're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you got to pay him. Yeah, they handle that. So it'd basically be a whole just a free agent. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I like where your head's at. I will humor this more than some of the other ones just because
Mm-hmm.
this seems realistic because he's not a number one receiver on a team that just went to the NFC Championship game.
Right.
He's a guy who has been cut from his other team because he cannot get healthy. And after sitting out most of last season, boom, all of a sudden he's in a walking boot. The team doesn't say what his injury is, and then they cut him. So there's clearly something wrong with this guy. I
It
don't know.
was just real quick. It was that he didn't get surgery. That's the big thing. The Raiders and everyone else was like, go get the surgery. He's like, no, I'm going to rehab. That's the big thing.
Oh, so it's the
yeah.
same
They had
injury.
they had a disagreement on that, which is what the Raiders are now. They're using that disagreement
Yeah,
in
to
that
withhold.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So it's the exact same injury.
Right. Right.
yeah,
Wow.
to his foot. Yep.
That's fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes things, I guess, slightly more complicated and maybe simpler because if it's just the one injury. But you think he would have healed up better than being in a goddamn walking boot by now if he heard it like September of fucking last year or whenever it was. But October, I think it was. But I digress. Um,
Yeah, it's tough. It is like a question mark. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like him. Like he's an awesome player, and I love your vision, Al, where like, yes, that would mean Milton Williams will probably be as effective as he was with the Eagles last season if we have this guy ahead of him. A dude who grew up loving the Patriots and idolizing Vince Wilfork. If he steps in here, like the breadcrumbs lead you to believe that, like, yes, he could sign. Vrabel even said that he was going to kick the tires on the idea, but I'm sure he's going to say that for just about any player that comes on the market. So I I would think they would sign him to a short-term deal, but then that doesn't make sense either because he's probably not going to play a whole lot this season, or at least he'll miss half the season, I would probably say, if he's still in a walking boot. So that 1 year deal doesn't even make sense. So maybe like a 1 year deal with a team option or something like that if he looks good. I'm sure they can find a contract length and amount of money that would be fitting, but I wouldn't. give him 20 million. I wouldn't give him a lot of money at all. This dude clearly thinks he's better than the medical professionals, and in some circumstances, some players are, and in some they aren't. And I think in this circumstance, he was proven fucking wrong. Because I bet if he had the surgery, he'd be playing right now. So that one's just kind of perks my ears up and torques the jaw a little bit. I don't know if I really love that, but it would be super cool to have him. He's obviously a monster. And that 65 tackles that Mike talked about was a down year from his 98 the year before and his 89 the year before then. He's a beast. Like, he's a great fucking defensive tackle. So I think everyone wants him. The Raiders are a worse team having lost him, even if he wasn't going to fucking play for him.
Yeah, so I was just looking up to see if there was any like live news about when he could return. It's uncertain, so no one like really knows when he would. So kind of like you said, it's like do you sign him hoping he can come back at some point, maybe halfway through the season or whatever? Do you give him like a 2 year deal, or do you just bank that he comes back well and you give him whatever, a 3 year deal, 4 year deal, whatever it happens to be? Because you're probably gonna have to. I guess we don't know what his market is either, but I would assume you're going to have to shell out a little bit because, like you say, he's a 29-year-old guy. He's had some good productive seasons. He does have the
I think a lot
injury
of teams want to
history.
pay him, though. A lot of teams don't even want to put up with that, with
That's true. Yeah.
how replaceable defensive tackles are for the most part. Like, I
Hmm.
don't think you really need to pay the guy.
Yeah, no, that's true. And his position also makes me think the Patriots could sign him closer to the season. Like they could do the waited out game. Like, hey, this is the contract we have. We have money. Like, go out there, see what's going on. If you don't find anything, like this deal is going to be here for you. Since it is defensive line,
Yeah.
I think that, like you said, it's not a receiver thing where he has to learn an entire playbook, like a Josh McDaniels playbook. But like it's just kind of line up and go. Obviously, it's more complicated than that, but it's not an extremely complicated position when it comes to like knowing the terminology and who's going where, or especially if he's cycling in and out with him and Barmore and Williams, all of them going in and out. So,
And
um,
just to put this into perspective too, looking at the 2026 free agency class for defensive tackles, David Onyemata, who's on the Falcons, he's 34.
I thought he was
DJ,
on Yamada.
aha, there you go. DJ Reader, who's on the Lions, he's 32. Daquan Jones, who's on the Bills, he's 35. Sebastian Joseph, who's on the Titans, he's 31. Shy Tuttle, who is on the
Beast.
Panthers, 31. So the point is, the
Mm,
free agency class for next year is an older draft class. So wouldn't
mhm.
you want to take a chance on a Wilkins who's 29 years old right now and still you could get him for, again, 2 or 3 years. So that way at the age of 31, 32, you don't have to have any monetary ties to him and you still get a good player. And he can take his time with the rehab this year. As long if and knocking on wood here, as long as Barmore and Milton Williams can stay healthy, you tell Wilkins, take your time. Like if you need to be back in week 8, that's fine. Rehab, do what you got to do, and then come in and cause damage.
I think the biggest part of this is the Christian Barmore thing, and that we don't know for certain if he's going to make it through the whole season. So I
Right.
think that's the best point you've made of this whole thing, and that's why I think they could do it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I think it comes down to like there's so many different variables. It's basically just, hey, should the Patriots add a talent like this? Yes. But you kind of just have to wait and see, which is what it is for most of these cases. When it comes down to it, though, I'd be willing throw out a 3 year deal. I don't care what the money is, whatever 3 year deal front loaded, so you can essentially cut him after the second year if you want, or trade him or whatever. But that's what I would
Yeah.
do. If there was a contract offered or given, and then we'll move on from this. What would you guys throw? Like, what would the parameters be? That, like I said, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to know like the fucking ins and out of it, but just like 3 years, basically whatever he asked for, similar to what he was just getting, 5 years, 110.
Yeah.
What would you guys do? I guess years is kind of the important thing.
I would do I do 3 for 70, make about 40 million of it guaranteed, and then the rest you do incentives.
You're going to guarantee 40 million for this fucking guy?
You need to, and you can do that because you have the flexibility to
You
do so.
don't need to. Teams are
What are
not
you
kicking down the
gonna?
door
But
for
what are you
this
gonna do
guy.
with $60 million, Liam? What are you going to do? Just throw
Roll
it
it
away
over
for
to the
next year?
next season and give him
See,
figure
that's
somebody
no. If
good.
you can make a move to make your team that much better, do it this year. Then have a little bit left over for next year. Then you can unload more contracts, and then you get that number higher. If you have a chance to get a good player, go get the player. Simple.
Yeah, a good player. Go get that player who's not going to play this fucking season.
And if he doesn't play this season, you get him for 2 more seasons. If you sign him to
Great,
a 3 year
off of an
deal.
injury.
Hey, listen, it's better than what's out there for the next couple of years.
That is true as
Uh,
well. So Liam, I'm assuming you would, if you had to offer a contract, what would you be? What would you be around? What would you be looking at?
2 year, 25 mil, no guarantees.
You're not getting
Oh,
that's not
like
it. Dude,
I would love that
No, I
contract,
promise
but
you, the
it's not.
team's not kicking the fucking door down for this guy. I promise you.
We'll see. Like you said, Al, maybe the class next year is going to make us what people are going to be. Like I would. There's a limit to what I would throw at him. I don't know what it is right now. But there's obviously, like I don't want to just open the checkbook, so to speak, because there are some drawbacks to him, some concerns, and like you said, if Barmore it does stay healthy, it's not a position of need. It's definitely a position of you should keep adding to it because you don't know. But you assuming things pan out for the guys you have here, Christian Wilkins would be a just like an added bonus. So
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna assume I don't know when do you guys think he gets signed? Because this he does have this grievance going on, so I'm sure maybe teams are gonna wait to see what's going on there. Because if he does get his guaranteed money, maybe he'd be less apt to ask for more guaranteed money. I don't know. So I feel like maybe teams will have to wait until all this like the dust is settled, or do you think it happens soon?
I'd say it would be a bit.
Yeah. You think like before week 2 of the preseason? I guess just throwing a random date
oh
out there.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
a team's gonna probably want to get him in, look at the injury themselves, and come up with a rehab plan.
Mm. Yeah,
So the
so
sooner,
especially since he doesn't want a surgery. Yeah.
yeah, and the sooner you get in, the sooner he can get started, the quicker he gets back on the field.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Just something to keep your eye on as a Patriots fan. That'd be nice to add. I know people are saying, "Oh, this team has 60 million. What are they doing?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, you have 60 million, but that doesn't mean you need to just go spend it on dumb things. Not that Christian Wilkins
exactly.
would be a dumb thing, but I'm just saying, like the people who are still kind of freaking out about the money the Patriots have. Listen, they tried to spend it. Players didn't want to come here. They spent what they did, and I'm down to spend money. I'm not down for needless spending. So
Yeah.
whatever, monitor the situation, go from there. We'll see what happens. Before we jump into Patriots training camp, kind of our last thing for the day, Couch Guy Sports, Al, the godfather of it, put us together. Couch Guy Sports, go check them out. CouchGuySports.com. Bunch of things on there: Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, all the good stuff. Red Sox as well. The Red Sox just beat the Dodgers today. That's why I'm wearing the Red Sox hat. Go check that out. Again, that's CouchGuySports.com. Also, Sports Spider. That is SportsSpider.com. Spider with a Y. Go check it out, whether you're on your tablet, phone, computer. Check on your phone when you're on the trail, wherever you want to check it out. Bunch of stuff on there. Go to the NFL tab, go to Patriots. You see us right at the top. Listen, watch, read, everything else on there. So thanks, Coach Guy Sports and Sports Spider. But training camp has started. Not a ton of juicy things coming out of Patriots, coming out of Foxborough. That's one thing you see a lot of the local radio talking about, where it's like there's no drama. There's not that much drama this year. I'm fucking happy. There's been so much drama coming out of this goddamn team for the last like 3, 4 years. I'm happy with like really the only drama we have is like is Drake May going to develop into what we think he's going to be, which I think is the big question mark. But speaking of Drake May, he has had a pretty damn good training camp so far. I figure we start with him. He had that one day, I think it was what, Friday, I believe, where he went like 10 of 10 or something. Granted, that was the team was working on their short games, their short passes, but still, I guess Drake May has looked good, kind of to roll in with the Drake May thing. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on
That
this.
was the same day Drake had a botched snap from Jared Wilson, right?
Was it? I don't remember. It might have been. It was. I think that was either
Yeah.
Thursday or
He
Friday.
went
So
14 to 15 on short yardage. It was almost
yeah.
all short yardage all
That's
day.
probably it. Yep. Yep. Jared Wilson, by the way, practicing at center, left guard, and right guard, but predominantly center. But I think they're still kind of trying to figure out what to do with him now in case Bradbury starts. You might want to move him somewhere else just to get him in the line and play. But Drake May is the big thing. He has looked good. I guess he's looked more confident. He's had some crazy off balance throws, off kiltered throws, off plan throws that he's getting to Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, all those guys. But on top of that, I wanted to ask you guys, the news coming out is that Josh McDaniels is installing Josh McDaniels' offense. And that has apparently ruffled some feathers because you have people saying, are they going to shoehorn Drake May into a Tom Brady offense? Because if Josh May, because they've asked Hunter Henry, they've asked Kendrick Bourne, they both said, yeah, it's the same offense. I think the answer is more nuanced than that. What I think they're saying is it's the same thing, but McDaniels is going to tailor it to Drake May, just like he did with Liam's boy Cam Newton, just like he did with Mac Jones, to a rousing success that year for a rookie quarterback in his first year. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts overall on Drake May looking good, but more so just the whole Josh McDaniels drama, because I'm pretty sure we knew that Josh McDaniels was going to install his own offense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Mike. Offensive coordinators and coaches, especially offensive coordinators, tailored toward their quarterbacks. So when you have a quarterback that is good with his legs, that has a strong arm, that now is in his second year of reading NFL defenses with a competent offensive coordinator, that's what you're going to tailor it to. You're going to tailor toward the strengths. One thing they have told him is, listen, you have to be more of a passer. That's the big thing. When the rush is coming, you have to be more of a passer. Look what happened the other day. I think it was either Thursday or Friday. I'm pretty sure it was Friday. Rolls out to the right, stays in there, finds Pop Douglas down the field for a 60-yard touchdown.
Yep.
That's the type of things that can happen when you have a quarterback that is making adjustments and a quarterback that is trying to progress in his second year. And that is courtesy of the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, installing in his brain, stay a passer, only rush out when no one's open and it's a certain clock. That's the whole thing. So,
yeah, and that's the thing.
like take what you're given. It already looks way better in 4 or 5 days of camp this year than at any point in camp in 2024. We were trying to hype ourselves up to be like, oh, 2024 won't be bad. It was bad. It was bad with all the inexperience, all the disorganization and everything. This is so much better already. And Drake May is going to benefit from it very, very much so.
Yeah, like I think that's the thing in Liam, just this little tidbit I heard too, and I kind of want to know, like, people were, and when I say people, I mean local radio, and then they brainwash the fans, and then fans start talking about it as well.
Yes.
But people were getting upset where it's like, oh, so you're gonna tell them to just check it down a lot or kind of take like the 5 to 10 yard plays. Like, that's not Drake May's thing. Drake May is, cowboy, Brett Favre running around. And it's like,
take what the defense gives you. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
we watched Tom Brady. And again, Drake May is not Tom Brady yet. But we watched a quarterback here take what the defense gives for 20 years to an unparamounted level of success. Again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, because it won't. It'll probably be more, but like, we won't hit that level of success. We'll surpass it with Drake May and Mike Vrabel at the helm. But all jokes aside, why are we shitting on the thought, like the idea of telling Drake May, hey, you don't always need to get the 60-yard pass. Do your reads. Sometimes, guess what, buddy? You're going to miss someone who maybe broke open a second after you threw a check down to Hunter Henry. But guess what? What if you stayed there, you get sack, strip, set? Like, dude, just decisiveness. That's what you want from a young guy. When you get to be a 6, 7, 8 year guy, then you can kind of do a little bit more of the cerebral stuff or whatever. But as of right now, learning a new offense, get your confidence, dude. Check real quick. If you see that they got bracket coverage on Diggs, look away. Even though Diggs might outrun them, but just check, throw it to Pop over the middle for a quick 8, 9 yard gain. First down, move the chains. Like I don't know. I'm down with that. I feel like we all are. But yeah, Liam, I know you're not intertwined in the local radio as much as Al and I are, and you shouldn't be because
Yeah,
it's
it
like
sounds
brain
horrible.
soup. But yeah, how do you feel about this Josh McDaniel stuff? How they're making Drake May, get used to checking it down, even though that's not what's happening. But what's your outlook on all of it?
I would agree mostly the fact that it's not happening. Like I think he's probably just hammering home like some of the fundamentals of being a quarterback, which Drake May absolutely already knows. It's like a reminder. Like when a wide receiver drops the ball, it's oh you gotta catch the ball, catch with your hands, not your body. Like every wide receiver knows that. It's just a reminder kind of thing that, maybe they forget it in the moment. So I think they're probably harping on something that Drake May already knows and making it far bigger of a deal than it is. But I think Josh McDaniels is absolutely implementing his offense, and he's absolutely going to do it in a different way than the Josh McDaniels offense we saw with Cam Newton and Tom Brady and Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo and every quarterback that's ever stepped in there because he changed the offense for every single one of those people. So when I looked at training camp, any videos I saw, any notes I saw, anything from it, it was a lot of let's establish who your go-to safety blankets are. And it was Diggs would get the first three passes of the game. Or if Diggs didn't get the first three, it would be a seam route to Hunter Henry, and then they'd backload Diggs throughout the practice and just give him like steady reps. And then a lot of Demario Douglas work in this most recent one where that's probably the practice where Josh McDaniels goes, all right, sure you know this. I did this thing with slot receivers. They're really good, and they're always gonna be a
Kind of my
mismatch.
thing.
Yeah, I don't even give them a route. I give them like three routes, and they can run any of those three. So you're gonna throw to Pop Douglas, and you're gonna throw to him a lot. And get this, you're gonna do it all practice today. Let's see how this goes. And that's what Josh McDaniels is doing. Each practice is gonna be a new point. It's like, all right, Stephon Diggs, our best wide receiver. This practice, force feed Diggs in the first 5 plays. I don't care double coverage, triple coverage, force feed it to him. Okay, now that you've done that, realize that's not how you fucking play quarterback. Definitely don't do that. We're gonna check it down. We're gonna get it to the open guy. But remember, you did force feed it to Diggs these last 5, and he caught say 4 out of the 5. So you can do that. Don't, but you can if you absolutely have to. And then the next day, well, let's get Pop Douglas involved. And then today we're going to go for home run hits. Like it's going to be something new every day. And that's the fun of it. And I can already like see little bits of the offense that I know and love and remember growing up in this. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like I saw this note that they found Afton Chisholm wide open. He was able to find a blank space in the zone, and they fucking hit him, and it ended up being a large gain. I think Dobbs was the quarterback then, but I'm like, oh, like that's the slot receiver white guy route. Like you find the hole in the zone, and you sit down and you wait there, and it works. It's tried and true.
Yeah, and I kind of going to the point where you said too, where it was like, it's like certain practices, certain emphasis on some things. Like I know people are talking about like, contested throws, whatever throws. Drake May has said that he is in practice and in the games, but like more so in practice because this is when you do it. He's gonna give his guys a chance to get the ball. So there might be
Yeah.
more incompletions than other times. Like, like I guess he's given, Kyle Williams shots against Christian Gonzalez or whatever. He
Yeah,
said
and he
it
had a great comeback route on him apparently.
exactly. But then sometimes that pass is going to be incomplete. One, because you're going
Yeah.
against one of the best corners in the league.
Fuck, it
And
might be
number
interception.
yeah, and guess what? But like this is practice. This is where you get these out of the way. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna try it against you. So then I know when we're in a game against, I don't know, Jack Jones, I know what to do here where I can beat you. I can't wait for that game, dude. But like, but I totally get what you're saying, dude. Where like as you were sitting there talking about like like the white guy route with Epton Chisholm, or like feeding it to
Yeah.
Pop Douglas, who Pop Douglas had a tremendous catch too a couple days
Yeah.
ago. Like he
That
jumped
on
up,
the
twisted his
sideline.
body. Yeah, dude.
That's
I am
so
getting, I'm getting, I can feel myself getting too excited about the offense.
Mhm.
And like and we're gonna talk in a second about maybe reasons why we should kind of hone down our optimism. But like I don't care about we're what 4 or 5 days into training camp. I do not care about incompletions. I do not even necessarily, maybe I care more about interceptions from Drake Maye. Anybody else I don't care about. But incompletions, I don't, because practice is where you kind of try to get shit going or whatever.
yeah.
Like I don't care if like say one practice like Diggs one for three against him, like for him. I don't care because you're like you said, Liam, especially this early, you're trying specific things. Like I don't even think they did red zone offense until like a couple days ago. Like they did it for
Yeah.
1 day. So like just like it's easy to get super excited about the positive things and super negative about the whatever things. I tend to lean more positive this early in training camp because the negative things have time to get worked out. But if you're already getting these like if you can see that May's already on the same wavelength with some people, you can see some of the offenses clicking. That's stuff to be excited about because you can build on it. Bad things can always be worked through, especially this early. So I think you should be tend to lean a little bit more optimistic right now. And I know that's what we
Yeah.
do, especially on Talk Rule Takes. But like, I don't know, you both like you both hit the nail on the head with this. So I don't know. But if you guys want to talk about something that we should be kind of negative about, we can. The offensive line, I guess, has been getting fucking cut through like a knife through butter.
Yeah.
I will give my defense for it, and then I want to hear you guys talk about it. But it's tough. Morgan Moses even said it. It's tough to block with no pads. Um,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
that's my only thing. And you got an offensive line working together for the first time. So I'm not worried yet. Will Campbell, by the way, he got beat a couple times, a bull rush by Keon White, which again, a bull rush is something where maybe if you had pads, I'd be able to block you a little easier. But either way, I'm not totally worried about it. I think it might be really the only glaring weakness on the offense right now. Because again, I'm super excited about the pass catchers and everything. But where do you guys stand on that with the offensive line kind of falling back this early in training camp?
I mean, it's to be expected, right? Because last year their O line was so awful, and you're relying on a couple big things. You're relying on a rookie at left tackle. You are relying on a 34-year-old Morgan Moses to steady the ship at right tackle. So those are your two tackles right there. You're relying on Mike Nwenu to be back at his regular position, which is right guard. You don't know who your left guard is going to be right now. And you have a rotating door at center between Bradbury and Wilson. So yeah, there are a lot of questions on this offensive line. What is it going to look like come week one against the Raiders? What's it going to look like in the first preseason game in the first drive? So yeah, I do have some questions about it. Not about the talent per se, but who are going to be the couple guys that step up and give Drake May the protection that he needs this season.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
Needs.
not worried about the talent. I'm mostly worried about the fit and the scheme. And I shouldn't have too much worries about the scheme because Josh McDaniels demands a fucking lot from an offensive line. So
Mhm.
I'm sure they're in hell right now just trying to figure out what this guy's talking about.
Right.
But I think Mike's absolutely right where it comes down to it's very difficult to block without pads, which is been one of the reasons I've said that's a huge reason for the decline in offensive line play is because there are far less, almost no padded practices anymore, and offensive line play has just been so bad for every team for years. But
Nail on the
yeah,
head. Nail on the head,
yeah,
man.
like I saw Drake May got sacked 4 times, one practice last game or last week. And I don't question the talent. Their first team offensive line, I'm satisfied. Like if it's if it's Campbell, Strange, Bradbury, Onwenu, Moses, like I'm satisfied with that. The talent seems good. On paper, I'm jazzed up by that. That seems fine.
Mhm.
I guess I'm just worried about the execution of it all. Like, you could get a ton of stud players together. It doesn't mean they're going to be a great offensive line. You can be the Phoenix Suns and get Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. This is going to be so much fun. No, they weren't that good. Kevin Durant was awesome, but everyone else just kind of didn't fit and wasn't that good. So like it's mostly about the practicality of it that I'm worried about. But even still, like it should work. And like the biggest question mark on that line is the center. And I'm like, Bradbury. And then we have a guy that can come off the bench and play, and I'd like to think he'll be pretty all right. And at very least, he's a rookie, so I'll give him a pass if he sucks. So I really don't have a whole lot to be bent out of shape about this line about. But, it's definitely not super hype when you read the practice notes and you see that Braden Swinson had 3 sacks and Harold Landry had a forced fumble, and you're like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, my thing about those sacks too, and I wanted to post this to you guys, like, and it goes back to Liam again, what you said, fucking just you're a fucking genius this episode. Like, it goes to certain days you practice certain things. Do you think that some of those sacks, maybe in a game situation, if TJ Watt is coming off the edge to Will Campbell, maybe Drake May doesn't stay in there because in practice, and then Al to go what you said, where Vrabel's trying to, God, it's such an easy time sometimes when you guys just continue to hit the nail on the head when like I'm dealing with
Gonna
recovering
make
from
me
day drinking
blush.
yesterday. Like Al, you said that some days like Vrabel is telling May, remain a passer, remain a passer. Like this is what you want to be. But how do we not know that in a game situation, say Will Campbell gets blown up on the outside or whatever, Drake May just squeaks right in between the little gap that's created and runs for 12, 15 yards. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and again, it might
Right.
not always be that way, but like, that's why you can't put too much into some of the sacks. Now, some of the sacks might just be like, just blown up plays, nothing happens. But some of the things, like we've been saying, like you practice is meant for to practice specific things, especially this early on. So,
Yeah.
like,
And
I don't know, you're
also
not
in
giving a
practice,
pass.
like to go deeper into it, like the quarterback isn't really trying to evade. He's standing in the pocket and trying to find a man downfield. And a defense in practice can get a sack by just touching you. When in a game, I've only seen one guy sack a quarterback with one arm, and that was Jared Allen. And every other guy's
That's
get an arm
crazy.
on them. He's a monster. Fuck Eli Manning. And every other guy gets an arm on the quarterback and they shake him off and scramble out of the pocket. So it's way easier to get sacks in practice. If you're in the vicinity, if you can no longer see Drake May in that pocket and their defensive lineman around, whistle blows, sack, start the play over. Because they just safely assume in the game, you're probably not getting out of that. But
Mhm.
we know from football, the crazy shit happens. Cam Newton's scramble against the Patriots, deking out our 3 best defensive players. Anytime you've watched Lamar Jackson play, last year when Drake May scrambles out of the pocket against the Jets and gets a concussion, he shouldn't have been able to escape that pressure, and he
No,
did because he's a
he's a
good
big
athlete.
guy.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
all these variables that just don't come into account because practice is safe and controlled, and we
Mhm.
have an hour to do this drill, and then we move on to this where it's 50 minutes, and you're like, okay, sure, whatever. I
Mhm.
understand, like it's a structure thing, and you're making your best guess. More power to them, but like it's just a flawed model when you go, wow, Drake's really getting nailed out there, and you go, our offensive line must be shit. It's like, no, you're not. You're not thinking about the 18 other variables that go into this that the offensive lineman would probably use to cover their ass.
And something else to think about too. The coaching staff, we've talked about this. The coaching staff is so much better this year. You have Doug Marone as your line coach who has
Yeah.
head coaching experience in the NFL. So, by the way,
Mhm.
those mistakes that you saw, excuse me, last year under Gerard Mayo and the year before in Belichick's final season here, those aren't going to happen again because Doug Marone's not going to accept it. Josh McDaniels isn't going to accept it. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Mike Vrabel is definitely not going to accept it because you
No.
have to take advantage of mistakes and limit your own mistakes. That's what you have to do.
Mhm.
Yes. Do you remember who Doug Marone's quarterback was in Buffalo?
Oh, we're not doing this. We're not
Mm.
gonna
Was
do
it
It's
this.
Tyrod Taylor.
We're
is
not
that
gonna
the
do
same
this.
quarterback that got an injection by the medical team that almost killed him? if I
That
remember
is not
correctly.
his fault at all. They
No, that's
punctured his
just a
lung.
crazy story.
That's fucked. Yeah. That's just
But yeah,
unlucky.
dude, you have so many, and it's just shows how fucking piss poor sad it's been in New England. We have professionals in the room, and we're acting like this is something that shouldn't just be like the norm. But
Yeah.
like we do, and Doug Marone is a piece that Al, like I'm happy you brought him up because the second you started talking about it, that's what I thought of. And it's like he is someone who's had success. He's been a head coach. He's coached other positions as well. Now he's really dealing with the offensive line. And like you just, Mike Vrabel, professional. Josh McDaniels might be complicated, might be young on the younger side, but still a professional in the room. Terrell Williams, professional, who is here now, defensive coordinator. Like there are just people in the room who, and you hear it coming out from Foxborough, where it's like last year it was more of, not as like organized or whatever, kind of like just some drills, then immediately into 11 on 11s. But now, like, there are drills, there are team building drills, skills things. Like they got different versions of the, what's the drill where the players would lie on their back, get up, and try to run past each
Oklahoma.
other? So there's
Yeah.
different things with that where like they would toss them a ball, and then like the players run, get the ball, and then whoever's on offense tries to run around the defensive guy.
Yeah.
So like there's certain things that are being done now. And I think that it's very easy to be optimistic about things right now. And that's where you should be, because everybody can look at it and say, oh, Drake May would have had 5 sacks. And one of the big throws he had to Kyle Williams came on one of those proposed sacks. But like, we are 4 or 5 days into training camp now. I'm not going to overreact about the negative things. Like I said, people will look at us, me in particular, because I happen to tend a little bit more optimistic and crazy or whatever. You guys want to say pink hat. I don't agree, but I just like to watch sports and be positive about things. There's a reason to be more positive now because, like I said, those are things you can build on. Negative things this early can always be worked out. And the pads are coming on Monday. I think we'll see
Yeah.
what
I'm
happens
so
when pads come
psyched.
on. Now, don't get me wrong. If the first day the defense just obliterates the offensive line, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the whole week. I want to see
Yeah.
if that happens. I want to see the improvement throughout the
It
week.
would give me pause, but I would wait for the whole
Yes.
week.
Yes.
I'd be
Especially if
like,
they stayed like that all week. Like, let's just say they
yeah.
give up 6 sacks on Monday, but Friday it's 1 sack, but it was maybe because Drake May held on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
Like that's great. Because, like you
Yeah.
said, Liam, I'm fine with this team. Like, I know Bradbury, great run blocker, kind of a bad pass blocker, but that's why you have good guards. And Cole Strange is
Yep.
a good guard. Michael Wenu is a good guard.
And most of the time, the center is a free safety. There are usually not nose tackles in the league anymore. So they are not lining up right
No,
above Bradbury. They're
exactly.
lining up on the guards, and he's just sitting there, kind of standing, doing the
You
Jason
see it all
Kelsey
the
thing.
time.
You're like, who am I picking up?
Yeah, you see it all the time. And then guess what? The guy with the Patriots drafted in the second round, TreVeyon Henderson, which I'll boast his praises right now. First and foremost, I guess he looks very fast on the field. We said that last week,
Yeah.
but people continue to say he looks fast. He's also a tremendous blocker.
Even though Baker's cutting into some of his special team snaps now, which is
These are
suspect. Yeah, I
these
know
are
we're
the two
getting to it.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're also going to talk about the other second round receiver as well in a second. But yeah, TreVeyon Henderson though, he looks more and more like a lock to get a fair amount of playing time. I people you keep seeing wheel routes to TreVeyon Henderson. That's all I want. Drake May can throw a
100%.
wheel route.
I don't want him to get a ton of snaps, but if you sprinkle him in for a wheel route or two, I'm in. Like if he's catching a wheel route every 3 games, I'm like, this is perfect. This is
Is
what
the
I
wheel
dream.
route one of the most like underrated, exciting plays? Because you kind of see like when the quarterback throws it, you're like, oh, he's like lofting it out of bounds. But you're like, well, wait a minute, hold the
Yeah.
phone.
You're like,
There's
where'd
a running
Vereen
back.
go? Yeah. Because, like, you see the running back run, but he usually disappears off camera.
Mhm.
And then you lob it. And you're like, who's over there? I thought the wide receiver ran over the middle. And you're like, oh my God,
Mm-mm.
it's the running
But
back.
you
Yeah.
know it's good when you can when you're watching the play. Someone like the three of us who like we've watched a lot of football, so you can kind of see it where like you see the quarterback look to that side the whole time, and then you
Yeah.
you see him throw it. You're like, why? What's going on? But then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, James White is 25
wide
yards down
open.
the field open.
Yeah. It's
Like
one of my favorite routes, and a lot of teams don't do it for some reason, but it seems like if it works, they're fucking wide open.
all the time. And I think it's because like they go out in the flat and then they just take off. So
Yeah.
it's like, you kind of lull the defense to
They
sleep. I
think
don't
it's a
know.
sit down, yeah.
Yeah. But no, TreVeyon Henderson, he's another piece going to be awesome. But you did mention Baker. Javon Baker has been like slowly working his way up from the third string guys to the second string guys. He got a few snaps with Drake Maye, and I guess Maye hit him on like a 60-yard touchdown pass that you were kind of just talking about as well. So my question to you guys about Javon Baker, do we think that he can build on this and maybe get that final receiver slot? Or do we think this is just, I don't know, like a broken clock is right twice a day type of thing? You know what I mean?
It's the second one, and it's not even close. At the best case scenario is Javon Baker is on the practice squad, and Jalen Polk is cut. That's all you need to say on that. That's it. Accept your losses, cut cut them. Accept that you made two mistakes, and move on. That's
Al
it.
is shutting the conversation down. He's like, and that's all you need to say about that, guys.
That's it.
Javon Baker, practice squad, Jalen Polk, cut, which I kind of agree. But Liam,
Something's telling me Al's having a bad summer because he's fiery today in a way that
I
he
think he just
usually
doesn't
is.
like Baker, which I get, but I
Yeah,
think he just
which is
fucking
fine.
hates
No, he,
Javon
he had some
Baker.
No,
he
I
had
hate
some
I
fire
hate
when we
Jalen
take.
Polk. Javon Baker just needs
Oh,
to
buddy.
figure it out.
We're gonna talk about him in a second too.
No, he had some fire with Jack Jones too, where I'm like, what's up
I
with Al?
yeah,
That's warranted.
I like my players that actually, come and do their work and
Okay.
aren't a distraction off the field.
Not a huge fan of the Second Amendment. I get you. That's totally fine. More power to you. It's still on the books, so that sucks. But yeah, no, I friggin' yeah, I think it's good. Like, dude, if Baker's working his way up and he's getting any reps with Drake May, dude, that's what we want. Everyone wins if one of our guys is doing well. I want Polk to do the same thing. I want to be wrong. I don't want to hate these guys and waste all my energy hating these guys, especially because I watched Javon Baker's highlight tape and I was like, this is electric. He really does make people in wheelchairs stand up. And then not a single man out of a wheelchair performed a miracle last season.
Nothing.
And I still want that. And J Polk put people in wheelchairs. It was just horrible. So, like, I want these good things to happen. Does it look increasingly worse for Polk? Yes. But it's still
Mhm.
not doomed. He still has, like, the kind of perfect prototypical wide receiver frame. So, like, I do still think there's hope for him in some sense, even though just saying that kind of gives me shades of N'Keal Harry. But
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
don't go
But
I
there.
wouldn't even
but
besmirch N'Keal Harry's name by saying that he is similar to Jalen
well,
Polk.
I maybe I'm a 2019 Chiefs touchdown conspiracy theorist, but if N'Keal Harry that touchdown counted, which it did, but the refs ruled against it. I do believe he goes on to have a Hall of Fame career, but that's a
I
side
was at
tangent.
that game and I agree. Not the Hall of Fame
Yeah,
per se, but everyone I'll never forget it. Everyone at the stadium was so outraged, rightfully so,
I
because
would
he was
be.
clearly in bounds. It was
You're
ridiculous.
seeing it on the Jumbotron. I would be so mad. I couldn't even imagine. But yeah, no, like I think Baker could be like a sprinkle in there kind of role guy. Throw it to him short, make a few guys miss, and then show me what you got when we're throwing deep. Where a game's out of reach, we put him in at the end. I think I he has a lot of value. I'd like to see him.
Um, yeah, I think Jalen Polk's going to be gone. Um, sorry, Liam. I side with the teacher. I side with my boy. I just, even though you like chocolate chip cookies, I gotta sign with you. Yeah, I think that Polk is the fact, and it's not even necessarily his skill set or whatever. Like you said, second round pick, prototypical, looks good, all that stuff. But like, he hasn't been at practice. He missed the first week of training camp. Like that to me, soft tissue injury, like I'm sorry. Like
Have you
I
ever had one of
wish
those?
I no, no, all my tissue's hard. It's always hard. I have the hardest
It
tissue that you could imagine.
it's very difficult.
I have the
Soft
hardest
tissue
tissue ever.
sucks. The hardest.
The hardest. But no, I like unfortunately because we all like a comeback story, and I think Jalen Polk's story would be kind of a comeback story because he was so bad last year for multiple reasons. But yeah, I just don't see it. Baker, even I think it's a long shot. Al, kind of like you said, well, a little bit more optimistic than how you said it, but I would love for one of them to make it because Liam, you mentioned it. Baker's like film, it is electric. He should have at least unseated a couple wheelchair bound men or women,
Yeah,
but he
but
did
he also
not.
didn't get a shot. Like he never played, and maybe he
So
didn't play
that's
because he's
true.
not good.
Or,
But
but I think it might have been like and I hated to bring this up when it happened because I think that a lot of people were just throwing this term on him, but it might have been an immaturity thing because earlier in the season, before training camp started, he had a catch, he was kind of boasting about it, whatever, and I guess Vrabel yelled at him to get back to the line. I guess this week in training camp, Diggs kind of did the same thing to him, so I think it might be a maturity thing. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying what has been reported, maybe overblown, may not have been. But I think that might be the only thing holding him back because Jalen Polk, like you saw him, and he just didn't look like he knew where he was on the field. Now, that might have been offense or whatever, but he just didn't look good. Drops, like just not great.
yeah,
Like, and if you look at it, and if you think the Patriots are going to carry seven receivers, it's going to, and again, I feel like we're going to do this every week, depending on how people perform. But it's going to be Diggs, it's going to be Kyle Williams, Mac Hollins, Pop Douglas, Kayshawn
Booty.
Booty. That's five. So who do you think? Maybe six. I guess Kendrick Bourne, maybe just out of familiarity. So
Mhm.
you have the last spot is going to go to either Efton Chisholm,
Yeah, and I don't want to
Javon
see him
Baker.
go.
So I think so. Maybe Chisholm takes over Bourne. And then it's between Bourne, Polk, and Baker. And if that's the case, I think you get Kendrick Bourne. So it's just a tough thing. And I do think Matt Collins might start the year on PUP or something. So that might
Nice.
open up a door for someone else, because I think Matt Collins, fine guy, like fine veteran receiver.
Yeah,
I'll have no beef with him.
better than what we had last year.
If he has like 300 yards for the season, I don't care because I think he brings more than just like strictly stats. But I don't know. So maybe Baker or Polk, they get in there because of that. One of the other receivers are on PUP. But yeah, I think when the dust settles, I think Javon Baker is going to be on the practice squad, and I think Jalen Polk is gone. And I hope that Efton Chisholm makes the roster because he looks quick as shit. Like I'm talking like Wes Welker, Julian Edelman quick. And I know you guys have seen the videos of him too. Like he looks like someone
Yeah.
who like you want him to make make get a roster spot. He might also be my when we do kind of the after the preseason kind of finalizing the roster, he might be my surprise cut, but I hope he makes it.
Yeah, I agree.
He strikes me as the guy where like he has a strong fan base, but he's not gonna make the team and it's gonna piss people off.
Yeah, I would be very
But
upset.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Do you guys think Jalen Polk comes to play on Monday when the pads come on tomorrow, today, probably as you're listening to this? Or do you think he's still on, that secondary bottom field and he's kind of done?
He
Al, I know your
better.
answer.
I mean, he better. Otherwise, like, if he doesn't show up tomorrow, I would just be, if I'm Vrabel, I'm just like, you know what? See you later. I don't need
Yeah,
this. I don't need to deal with this.
save me cutting you later.
Yeah, just let's get it done now. Bye bye.
Might as well. Liam, do you think he comes back? And if you think he comes back, do you think he even has like an actual shot to make it?
I'm gonna tell you, I have no idea if he comes back or not, but I still think he has a shot until the very end.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't think any of us are necessarily biased towards people. Like, if they make the roster, then they do, and there's a reason they do. Because I think we do have faith in the professionals that are in the building now. So we'll see what happens. Any other Patriot stuff you guys want to get to before we get out of here?
Nope.
No,
Just I'm gonna be at camp on Tuesday, so I'll report my findings back next episode.
please
Hell
do
yeah,
it. Get
hell yeah!
videos
I
if you can
I love
too.
that.
Mhm.
I just broke the pen tip. You guys know when you are like playing with the cap of the pen or the thing of the pen, you break it like that. That's fucking annoying. What a bad time. You want to know why? Because quick little Celtics minute. The Celtics are expected to sign Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
It would be pretty hilarious.
It's it
Just
that
a
yeah. Yeah.
just a quick little snippet before we get out of here. I think I'm going to hate this upcoming season of Celtics basketball.
Oh, me too.
I don't, it's going to be a mishmash of people. Jaylen Brown's probably going to have so much workload on him. He's going to fucking get hurt or some shit or like get worn down too
He's
much. So
already
when
hurt.
Tatum, that's the thing. He's going to get worn down. So when Tatum does come back, Brown's going to have like an extra 3 years technically on him because this year is going to put so much of a toll on his body. We're going to have fucking George Niang's, whatever the fuck his name is. Boston local, but like whatever. And Ben Simmons going to be out here throwing the ball around. Yeah, I'm done with it. But yeah, that's Talk Cool Takes episode 191. Anything else on any topic, any movie recommendations, or any cookie recommendations you guys want to throw out there before we leave?
Gotta
Niang's from,
see. He's
Niang's
from
from
Lawrence.
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Gotta go see. I gotta see Happy Gilmore too. I still gotta watch it.
Watched it last night. It's very stupid but very entertaining.
Okay.
You'll like it.
Is it? Okay, I heard the
It's
same
dumb,
thing.
but
Yeah.
I have no like. This is all I want. I want him to do sequels to all his like classic ones, and I don't care if they're stupid because I love Adam Sandler so much, as we all do. I don't care. Just do it just like this. There's a ton of cameos. The story's fine. Like there's no crazy issues with it. It's just entertaining. If you're going to the movies, go see Fantastic Four. Loved Fantastic Four.
Heard good things
Of
about
course
it.
you did. Yeah.
Very good. Good stuff.
Fig-
Very good
Figured you
stuff.
loved it.
Yeah, dude, go and watch Happy Gilmore too. Go see Fantastic Four. Don't go see Superman. But that's all. I'm a Marvel guy, so that's why I see Spider-Man back there. All right, so it's Tuck Rule Takes 191. We will see you guys next week after a full week of padded practice. Hopefully the offensive line shows up. And yeah, I got nothing else. Hide the Panda Express from Jack Jones down in Miami, of which there are many down there. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's it. See you guys next week. We're out. Sweet feet.
Sweet feet.
Sweet feet.